4. Today we're going to be talking about Funimation and also anime studios. But before we get into that, Justin, the pro, what have you been up to?
Hey guys, lots and lots and lots of work.
That's it.
Also been doing some baking, not bacon, baking.
You were sending me some photos, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I was invited to a Super Bowl party. I'm like, what is the manliest thing I can possibly bring to a Super Bowl party? A berry trifle.
Hey, was it a hit?
It was. Yeah, I mean, it was a big trifle. Like trifles are enormous. It's like probably 10 inches in diameter, about 5 or 6 inches deep.
You're making me
hungry. It's a lot of food.
It looked really nice too. You did a good job.
Thank you. I also made these bourbon pecan buns, which also turned out like it was my first time making a yeasted pastry, and it was I know some stuff to fix for next time, but it also went down pretty well. So
yeast is tricky. Yeast is extremely, and a lot of people don't know this, but because we make all the pizza dough by hand, yeast gets affected by the temperature of the weather outside. You have to adjust for that stuff. It's a tricky thing. It's a science.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And I mean, I figured it was warm enough, but maybe not. And I don't think I used enough. It was a lot. So that, and just been.
Super Bowl, did you guys all root for Kansas City?
I have no idea what everyone was rooting for. I was barely. I'm a nerd.
I'm a nerd too, but I was So just to get you up to speed with why this was such a big deal, this Kansas City win is because Andy Reid has been a coach for 20 years, never won a ring. He's been a great coach. Everyone who's ever worked under him has said he's a great guy. Patrick Mahomes is 24, so I think he's the youngest Super Bowl winning quarterback. And then Kansas City, the franchise, hasn't won a Super Bowl in 50 years, and it's at the 100-year anniversary of the NFL. So this was a huge deal, and they won. And what's that? It's just a blank screen. I'm just glad the team I was rooting for won. And you know what? It's great to not see the Patriots in there. So, but for me, I watched all 23 episodes of Godmazinger.
There we go. Now that's the flip I know and love.
In the span of a couple of days, and I don't really know if I can call that a mech show. It's so weird. And then I went into the manga because someone said you need to check out the manga. It's brutal, and the manga is so just cranked up to 11. Like the anime is so toned down. Overall I enjoyed it. I'm gonna do a full video review. I've been lazy this week. I was supposed to do it, but man, the production quality was pretty poor. There's a lot of just still.
It is very cheap, very cheap.
But overall, it's fun. I'm glad you guys put it out.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone's even fan subbed it before in its entirety.
I've tried, like every time I do a review or I get excited for a show before I watch it, I look up people's opinions. There's no reviews on the internet for that. No reviews on YouTube. No one's writing about it. So, it's a really cool show, but it's just so weird that it's related to Mazinger. Just totally by name, not by anything else.
Well, creators, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But man, the manga is it's pretty bad. Like it's. I was like a little offended by some of the like sexual stuff in it. I was like, well, damn, like they cut a lot of stuff out for that show.
Probably for the best.
Oh, definitely for the best. Go. I feel like Go was just on an acid trip for like 25, 30 years.
I mean, shrooms were legal in Japan.
Whoa, really?
Oh yeah. Why do you think there's so much mushroom imagery in Super Mario Brothers? It was a legal loophole. It wasn't classified as a drug until like the late 90s.
I could totally see Go and Leiji Matsumoto just taking shrooms and just writing stuff.
There are certain people, I don't know how seriously to take them, but there are definitely schools of thought that is like when Japan outlawed shrooms, and like it was everywhere. Like you could go into certain neighborhoods and there were like mushroom shops with neon signs and everything. But yeah, there are certain people that say that when Japan banned shrooms was when Japan stopped being as relevant and creative as a society.
When were they banned?
I'd have to look it up. I believe late 90s.
Wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
recent. Holy shit.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, but
Look at how anime's turned out since then. It's
well,
gotten worse.
think about how psychedelic the imagery used to be and how that's
Like Cobra?
all
Cobra is like an acid
Cobra.
trip. That's the first thing I said to you. I was like, I've never done acid, but that's what I imagine what an acid. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, not that Japan hasn't come out with some really psychedelic stuff since then, but it's not been as prevalent as it once was, in my opinion.
Man. So why did they finally outlaw it?
Basically, I mean, politicians just kind of got the hang of it, more or less. It just took them that long. And, Japan likes to kind of stay up on international standards for things. And they were like, oh, shit, everyone else banned this substance and we never got around to it. But yes, we'd better do it.
That's like, was it peyote that wasn't illegal here in the States for a very long time? Or it might still be illegal.
I'm pretty sure it's illegal now.
But it was like not, like you could get it. Like,
you could get a lot of things.
You just got to know the right people.
Yeah.
That's true, and working in the food industry, everyone is on something. So
I've heard.
One of my favorite things ever is Anthony Bourdain. He wrote a book, and he wrote
several books.
Yeah, but I think is it Kitchen Confidential?
That was his first one, yeah.
I think that's the one where he was talking about everyone in the kitchen was just on heroin or on coke, and it's like, I mean, we're not that crazy. Most of our employees are just on marijuana, but
also a lot has changed in that time. Like the kitchen used to be a lot more of a backwater than it is now. And partly he's the one to thank for that.
Yeah, Anthony Bourdain. Seriously, me and my dad used to watch every episode of The Pizza Place. I've never seen my dad cry that much. A handful of things, but he cried when Anthony Bourdain died.
I was very upset, extremely upset.
I absolutely adored that guy. So
yeah,
rest in peace. But hey, let's talk about something else that's dead. Is that Funimation canceled the show?
No,
was that a good transition? Was that good?
Your segues need some work. I
thought that was flawless. I thought that was absolutely just great, fantastic, right there.
God.
So I didn't know what the show was until it was trending on Twitter, which I was like, okay, I'm looking at it, and it was like a hentai show, like borderline.
Yeah, it was. So it was a show. Like the manga didn't show anything at all, but the anime basically, especially around episode 3, just went full out sex scenes. It was like R-rated Cinemax style sex scenes. Like it didn't show any penetration or anything, but also the version that aired was super, censored to hell. And and Funimation went, you know what, guys, it's too far. We never mind. And the fans went ballistic because there's nothing anime fans like more than being denied porn.
Yeah, I mean, I guess,
but dude, anytime someone even breathes in the direction of censorship, people lose their shit. No matter how disgusting, no matter how, morally questionable, the fans will not be denied their porn. That is just it.
Sony recently put like they censored a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of like JRPGs, like outfit wise and stuff. And a lot of people were up in arms about that as well. Same with Nintendo just re-put out Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and they censored it, and people were freaking out about it. Which honestly, it doesn't whatever. It's just censorship. It's just not like to me.
Well,
to me, it's just like, man. Like if you're gonna censor,
I mean, I don't make as huge a deal out of it as a lot of people do, but there are definitely times where I'm just like it. It harkens back to the bad old days of, edited TV dubs and such.
Mary has a point. This is the thing I saw on Twitter a lot. I was actually surprised it was on Funimation's list.
Okay, so I wanted to go into that because
I want to know if they just wholesale license a bunch of crap and then was just like, we're going to do it because they were doing a dub. They were working on a dub for this. And
they were simul dubbing it.
So then,
okay.
So how does that work? Because I'm so confused. Because like in
Okay,
my mind, a business, it's like, okay, you got this show, you know, you have to translate the script, and then you hire voice actors. Did they just get each
okay, so
script for each episode, or
there's a few factors at work here. So let's back up to months ago when Funimation licensed the show.
okay?
Okay, so their licensing team is completely different from their production team. In fact, most of their licensing team is in Japan, so they don't even have a day-to-day, face to face with the rest of the team necessarily, because they're in Japan because they have to be there to sign the deals. It's just easier. They can take care of materials delivery. They can attend, if they're on production committees, they can attend the meetings, etc. And they do their due diligence. That said, not hentai, not porn, but really pervy, ecchi stuff has always done very well. Even if it's not very good, like I'm blanking on some titles here, but you know the ones I'm talking
Well, I
about.
mean,
The
like
ones are
not the shit talk Seven Seas or Yen or Yen Press, but most of their catalog is that stuff, and I'm like, who is buying this crap? And they keep cranking it out, so it's got to be
you
doing well.
would be shocked. That stuff moves tons. Now, it used to, in anime world, it used to matter even more because this is going to sound terrible, and I'm not arguing that it's not. Uh, there was a huge amount of money to be made in horny 13-year-old boys using their Xbox Live accounts to buy smutty anime.
I think I was one of those kids.
Exactly. It's a way to buy something dirty without popping up on mom and dad's radar because it's Xbox Live points, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's trickled down into modern day anime consumption. That said, once everything went streaming, there has been a very clear line in the sand. For example, years ago, right when Crunchyroll first was taking off, the first show that I knew of that Crunchyroll ever turned down. Now, Crunchyroll has stated outright that their goal, or at least it used to be, I don't know about these days, their goal is generally to license everything they can get their hands on and stream as much as they can get their hands on. So they turned down a show called Charger Girl Juden-chan, and I think the reason I know this is because ANN was offered it. They offered it to us, or the licensor, because they're like, "Yeah, Crunchyroll didn't want it. Do you want it?" And we looked at the key art, and it was literally a girl who had licked a plug and like a spit string coming off, and I'm just like, "Nope, we're good, thank you."
I just googled that show, and one of the first images is a underneath panty shot. So.
Right. Well, Charger Girl Juden-chan was one of those shows, and these shows don't come on that often anymore. They used to be more common, but basically it's a show that is more or less made as an R-rated borderline hentai that they just then censor the crap out of and put it on TV just as an ad for the eventual home video version that'll be uncensored. And for an international streaming company like Funimation or Crunchyroll, those shows are a no-win because first, if they show it at all, they get complaints because 13-year-olds can pretty easily be divided between the very easily offended and the give it all to me.
Yeah.
And so they're going to get shit from one or the other. If it's super censored, they're going to get shit because it's super censored. If it's not, if it's all hanging out, they're going to get endless shit from people who are offended by that. And there's actually quite a few of those. So, and then you take into account that one of the latter category, some of which might be parents, you never know, but it doesn't even matter online really, could easily put up a complain to Apple and get their app delisted from the App Store.
Which Mary briefly talked about that. She said as someone who has developed programs for several streaming apps, iTunes Store, and smart TVs, etc., are very strict about content. Had one of our apps for Midnight Poll rejected due to content. So,
Yep. Yeah, that's absolutely a thing, and those apps are up right now. Funimation has done a very good job getting them up everywhere, but it's not hard to get those taken down if they give them a reason.
like if some
And
12-year-old's mom walks by and sees him watching Charger Girl, and she's like, "What the fuck is that?"
yes, exactly, that will be a huge issue. So you get the streaming ecosystem works pretty well because 95% of anime that gets made now specifically for TV broadcast, even late night TV broadcast, is okay enough that it won't, like, even if somebody filed a complaint, no one would really have any problem. If once they drill down, it's like, okay, this is a little borderline, but there's no, hardcore, like no one, there's nothing really outright porny going on. This time they couldn't really say that.
Now, I don't know how true this is, but on Twitter, because I was reading a bunch of threads,
Mhm.
people were saying that there's other shows that they license that are way more sexual than the one that they delisted. So if that's the
I
case,
didn't actually see any of this show. I'm just going on third-party accounts.
I haven't either.
But that said, it doesn't matter if it's not streaming. The market is, especially if you're a Funimation right now, is dictated entirely by streaming. And this is actually, that brings me to my second point. Because everything's for streaming and the licensing landscape is so competitive, they have to license these shows sight unseen. They're not done when they're buying them, so they don't know what they're getting, which honestly, this is why you look at what Funimation puts out on disc and you're like, why are they putting that? What, they dubbed this? Why did they dub this? This is, did anyone really buy the Blu-ray box set of Handshakers?
I was really surprised that they licensed Zillion.
I'm told that was like a favor.
Which
but
I like when that got announced,
I ain't mad.
You guys, I was like, oh, hey, look, new discotheque, and I was like, oh wait, what? Funimation? What?
They did a nice job with that. I
actually like the box art. It looks like like a retro look going on. I thought it was really nice.
I thought they really did a nice job with that. But that said, it probably didn't sell anywhere near the numbers that they're used to. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, because they have to license these shows sight unseen, if the licensing guys were just flipping through the manga version, which is apparently nowhere near as porny, they were just going on the initial design sketches and such, and they went, okay, yeah, sure, let's do this one. They would obviously have had a rude awakening a couple episodes later. Because we're talking about different departments in different countries, what probably happened is that everything went through as normal. They went through and cast the show, and then the materials came in for around episode 3, and someone in production was looking at the script and looked at the screen going, wow, really? Are we doing this? We're really doing this? And then they probably sent an email. It's like, hey, higher up, look at this episode. Is this, I don't know. And the higher up went, oh, yeah, we should have a meeting. Let's discuss. And, I am very sure that's how it went down.
So first off, doesn't Funimation have like a group of voice actors that they use regularly, like the same?
They do have a big rotation. That's actually the third point.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say is like, because getting voice actors for a project must be hard work, but if you have a set number of people that you regularly use, that's probably easy to be like, hey, Justin, we have another show. Do you want to,
Well, they dub so much stuff over there that they just have this talent pool that they just reach into constantly, and half those guys are there all the time anyway because they're dubbing so many shows at once. It was 19 before this thing. Now it's down to 18. But think about it.
18 shows at once.
19.
Ooh.
And they've been doing that for the last few seasons. That is nuts. And those guys work themselves to the bone. You think I work hard? Those guys, they're dubbing way into the night. They have an overnight staff. They have people coming in at 2 a.m. to record. they are breaking themselves to meet that production schedule. And they work the actors very hard as well. But here's the thing: if the actor didn't know what they signed up for, and say they're religious, or they have they have some morals, and
or if there's like a trigger, like something that like actually emotionally bothers them.
It is a completely valid thing for an actor to go, hey, I didn't sign up to be in a porno, and this is kind of turning into a porno. If I were an actor, I would. Look, I completely get it. That is not so. Okay, so you remember the old OVA from the late '90s, Kite?
That name sounds familiar.
Okay, brilliant OVA that the director famously had to make it a hentai in order to get it made, in order to get it funded. It's a beautiful OVA, and Media Blasters, when they released it here, they had cut out all the hentai.
Yes, okay, yes, I do, yeah.
Well, okay, so when they released it in the US initially, they cut out all the hentai, because the hentai parts is hardcore. Like, that is a disturbing watch, uncut.
I'm gonna put, actually, I own this. I think I bought this during a sale.
It's like the cut version of the OVA is one of my favorite OVAs ever made. The uncut version is a lot. So when they dubbed it with a studio in Wilmington, North Carolina called Coastal Recording. And Coastal was a really good studio. They did a lot of Animego's classic dubs like You're Under Arrest and Oh My Goddess. And they also did a couple of really great ones for Media Blasters like Shinesman. They were a great studio. Unfortunately, they went out of business because they were such ridiculous perfectionists that they had the actors do too many takes all the time and ended up having to pay them so much money for so much overtime that they end up losing money on every production. Anyway, wrapping it up, when they cast Kite, they had to show the potential voice actors the full version, because you have to, if their name is going to be associated with that, they have to know what they're getting themselves into, because, even though it wasn't that version that they were dubbing, it would have still come up.
So Kite says on the box, it says absolutely not for children.
You're looking at the hentai version.
What about for spouses? Should
Depends
I watch that
on
with
the
my wife?
spouse.
I don't think.
I don't think so.
I don't think Taylor would be.
I don't think so.
Would be cool with that. She'd be like,
no. Honestly, I don't think you'd be cool with it, because some of it's pretty lolicon.
Okay, yeah, no. I don't know why I own that. I think it was on sale during the Right Stuff summer sale, and I was just like, eh.
It is. That said, and there are some scenes that are clearly meant not to titillate, but to horrify.
Okay. Yeah. I think I got that the same purchase I got Guy Double Target, which is the only other hentai that I own.
I only saw that once, and I remember it being really kind of eh.
Well, most hentai, in my opinion, is eh.
Oh yeah, most of it's garbage. But
what was that thing that you were telling me about when we first started talking? You said you were dubbing. You're not dubbing, but you were working on a hentai that was so horrific that it made you sick.
Like, that was Magic Woman M.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Maho Shoujo Meru. Yeah. That almost made me quit CPM. There were a few that were pretty bad. That one was probably the worst one.
The worst. I need to put that on my watch list just to see what you went through. For research, for science, Justin, for science. I swear, it was for research. I wasn't Googling. Do you want to talk about Funimation's other big news? Like, they kind of had like a little bit of they took an L from a lot of people, but then they came back with a win.
It was the same day too. It was
was it the same day?
It was the same day.
They licensed Paranoia Agent, which in my mind, I was a little shocked it wasn't already licensed.
Yeah, I don't know what the holdup was, but suddenly we're drowning in Satoshi Kon stuff. I'm not upset.
I'm really excited. I love him. Taylor and I have watched Perfect Blue and Paprika. I've seen a lot more stuff, but I've
Yeah.
introduced her to Perfect Blue, and she thought Perfect Blue was like one of the best movies I've ever introduced her to. Period. Like just films in
I
general.
mean, it is a great film.
Didn't you work on that?
I worked on that Blu-ray. Yeah.
Yeah. So that movie is, I think, Perfect Blue for me is probably his best work.
Perfect Blue's great. Paprika's great. I love Millennium Actress a lot. I don't
Antonio
like it as
Godfathers is getting a movie theater release here, so
yeah.
that's
I'm very curious to hear because that was that old master looks terrible.
Tokyo Godfathers.
Yeah, because that was I think that was the only that was the first Satoshi Kon movie that was entirely print to film from digital, and it doesn't look great. It looks very washed out and low res, and they say it's a new restoration. I've seen the Blu-rays that were released in other countries. In fact, I imported both the Australian and the UK version of that Blu-ray, and I've seen the Japanese Blu-ray, and they all look terrible. That old master looks like butt. So I'm not sure it can be improved upon, but I want to see what they did.
Who has the license for that? Is that also
That's G Kids.
G Kids. So
Yeah, that's G
it
Kids.
seems like Cone stuff is split up between G Kids and Funimation.
No, this is the first thing Funimation has.
This is the first thing. Have you read any of his manga? Have you read like Opus or Seraphim?
Yeah, it's nowhere near as good.
I think
Honestly, I don't care for any of his manga.
Really?
Yeah,
that's a pretty,
they don't hold my attention.
I'm just looking at his Wikipedia. He worked on Pat Labor. He worked on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure '93.
Yeah, Memories. He worked on Memories.
Yeah, Jinro as well. Just man.
But these are as like layout artists, not like he didn't direct them.
He wrote. It says he wrote Jinro. I don't know how true.
That's Mamoru Oshii wrote Jinro.
It says, oh well, then Wikipedia is wrong.
Shock!
Right. Wow, Wikipedia wrong. This is why we.
I was going to say I don't think he worked. I think you're looking at Mamoru Oshii because Mamoru Oshii did Pat Labor. I don't think he worked on Pat Labor.
It says uncredited at his friend and film director's Hiroki Okura's request.
Hiroyuki Okura was he on Pat Labor? I don't.
No, that's Jinro.
Huh. Oh yeah, I mean, he might have done something. I don't know, but it certainly wasn't any like major headliney thing. So
I'm just excited that Paranoia Agent is getting a Blu-ray.
Yeah, and they have said they said today that they're reusing the old New Line Pictures dub, not New Line Pictures, New Generation Pictures dub. New Line Pictures would be very different.
Are they doing a newer one?
No, they're just reusing the old dub.
And is that out now? Is that streaming?
It will be streaming, I think they said later this month, and coming to Blu-ray later this year.
I might actually have to sign up for a Funimation account.
I'll get that Blu-ray.
Resub, and then
I will definitely get that Blu-ray. The old DVD looks okay, but I think an upscale would look better. There is a German Blu-ray that's apparently a terrible upscale. I haven't seen it myself, but I have a feeling Funimation would probably do a better job.
I'm super pumped, and then we can I don't have a good transition for this, but let's talk about studios because we actually got one of the only question that we got for you. We only got two questions, and it was split up between us. Someone brought up your whole stance on don't follow studios, follow the people,
right?
And he wanted to know why exactly. I'm gonna guess this person did not read your article.
That would be my guess.
So I don't want to out his name, but we are friends on Facebook, and I'm sure he's watching right now. So so back in the day, as a fan, I used to be pumped up whenever Madhouse put something out. Like whenever I could get my hand on a new or Studio Bones as well, or Gynax even.
Sure.
And now for me, even though I've kind of broken this mentality, for me, it's like Trigger. I think every time Trigger announces a new project, I am excited because everything Trigger's put out, in my opinion, has been a hit. So But really, what I should be looking at is the writers, is the
Right.
directors, is the
Are you
animators.
really getting excited for Trigger, or are you getting excited for Imaishi? Because
Uh,
he's the director that is known for his house style. That is what Trigger is known for.
so yeah, that's exactly my point. Is that I
Right.
should be, but I think it's easier for people to because
It
names
is,
are
but
so.
it also doesn't really help anything because these people that they're these creative talent, they're freelancers, and yeah, they do tend to hang around one studio or another and contribute to what could be thought of as a house style. But they're free agents; they can go wherever they want. Um, and it's one thing. It's I suppose you could look at it like a sports team, but they're not under contract. They're on contract on a per show basis or on a per movie basis,
And
and
is that
if
every
they
single animation studio? So like let's say Trigger, for instance.
yes.
It's not the same group of teams. Like people leave freely and just go different places.
Oh yeah, I mean, unless I don't, I'd have to look. I think Imaishi might be one of the co-owners of Trigger, in which case, yes, then his design would be part and parcel.
He is, yeah,
Um,
he is one of the co-founders of Trigger.
yeah, so obviously anything Imaishi is going to be Trigger, and anything just like anything Anno is going to be Kara from this point on, and but something like Madhouse, everyone is a free agent. Madhouse is not co-owned by an auteur of any kind. They're owned by I think they got sold recently. They used to be owned by Index, which got most of their money from pachinko games.
Of course.
Yeah,
So is Sunrise owned by Bandai then?
Bandai does own Sunrise, but they operate. They have a lot of autonomy.
Okay.
And the reason they have a house, they don't really have a house style. For example, and because everyone comes and goes, there are certain brands that they own, i.e., Gundam, and that obviously attracts the classic Gundam talent, the Yas, obviously the Gundam creator, Tomino. All those guys are, if they want to do Gundam, they probably want to do Gundam. They're gonna get Sunrise.
I have noticed the last handful of Gundam projects, like the Origin OVAs and then the Thunderbolt OVAs, they do have a very similar style to them. Like it's a weird. Right. I don't know what to call it, because like at times I like it. Like in the Thunderbolt, I really liked it, but at some parts in the Origin OVAs, it's a little. I didn't like it.
Are you talking about the character designs, or?
Yeah, like just like the way that they've like designed, like for instance, Char. I'm not a big fan of Char's look in Origin as much as I am in the original.
You are reacting to the art style of Yoshikazu Yasuhiko. Okay. And he's pretty old now, but he's the one that designed a bunch of the old classic Gundam character designs, which is why they got him back to do all these new, high budget Gundam shows. He's also the creator of Venus Wars and a few other features. He did a movie called Arion, which nobody's seen.
I think it's just for me. I'm such a
Crusher Joe.
Yeah. I have Crusher Joe. I really like Crusher.
Crusher Joe's really good.
I think for me, the reason why I don't like the newer style is because in my mind, those characters look and animate the way that they did in those films and in the original show. So seeing them kind of redone, I don't know. It feels kind of not sacrilegious, but it takes me away a little bit. Like Thunderbolt, I love it because those characters are, for the most part, within those films and within that manga.
Right, they're unique to those films. But you're reacting to a character redesign that is just it's like Uncanny Valley with the originals.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So, is there any studio or any people in particular that you follow, like very closely? Because I follow, obviously, I really like Mashi a lot. I like Tomino a lot. Everything Tomino's done.
Tomino's more or less retired now.
He's working on a lot of stuff. He's doing the whole G Reco film, like 5 films.
Is he?
Yeah, he's working on and they just put out the first one. He just directed it. He
directed it?
Yeah, I'm 90% sure.
I thought for sure that he was not retired. I know he was doing stuff, but not super active. But
He's
I
not
could
that
be
old. I mean,
completely wrong.
he's in was what 70s. He's got to be in his 70s, right?
Yoshiyuki Tomino.
Yeah, it says anime film series directed and written by Tomino.
He's almost 80.
Yeah, he's 78 years old. So,
Good Lord.
which by the way, Logan and I are going to be doing a review for the first film because Logan really likes G Reco. A lot of
Yeah.
people do not like G Reco,
Hmm.
but I am really excited to watch that first film. We're going to watch it tonight, I think. And so basically, I don't know if you know the whole thing with G Reco is that it was supposed to be 50 episodes.
Right.
It got the budget and everything got shrunk down to 20, I think 26 episodes, and the story was all over the place. So he's getting a decent budget to retell what he wanted to tell in 5 films. So
Yikes.
I mean, yeah, he's working still. Dude's almost 80 years old.
Well, good on him.
I think he is a genius. I think Tomino is just, and then also I don't know if he's doing what's that new film Hathaway's Flash. That's based on a book that he's written, I believe. So I don't know if he's going to be and he's also wrote music too. Like Tomino's like,
oh, he's prolific as hell. But also he's created it as original creator for literally everything Gundam.
yeah, well, I mean, he did what? He did the original series, Zeta, Double Zeta.
Yeah.
He did, Chars. He did Turn A, which is what the big thing about G Reco was that it was his first return since. Yeah, so Hathaway's Flash is written. It's a novel written by Tomino. It was 3 of them.
Okay.
And then they're doing a 3-film trilogy of films. But he's not.
We don't know if he's working on that.
No, he's not. It's directed by Shuko Murase.
Okay.
So,
I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not a huge Tomino fan, but I definitely respect what he's built, which is crazy, and how much he's still working.
I mean,
he's nuts.
I mean, like even outside of Gundam, I mean, Zambot 3, I think is incredible. I think Ideon is incredible. Last time he got a movie to tell his complete story, Be Invoked. That's what.
Justin really does not like Tomino. That's true.
You don't like Tomino at all. Why? He is on a very I don't know if you know, like, who Dead Mouse is, obviously, right?
Yes.
He has a I can't think of his name. The creator of Mario, not the creator, but the God, what is his name?
Miyamoto?
Yeah, Miyamoto. He has Miyamoto's name tattooed on his arm because he got signed and he went to the tattoo parlor. And I've always thought that would be a cool idea. And Tomino's is like on a list of like 3 people that if I ever met, I would be like, hey, sign a part of my body. I'm gonna get it tattooed. Like, I love Tomino.
I find his character writing to be not in sync with how people act, and I find his stories to not go anywhere.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I still really
like it's as if everything that he has made takes place in a fever dream. It's that disconnected from how people actually are, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And people have given me a lot of shit over the years for not being a Tomino fan, but not a Tomino fan. Sorry. And nothing against the guy, but not. I don't.
I mean, I love Zambot, Daitarn, obviously Gundam.
You like almost anything with NECA.
That's not true.
You're not the harshest critic.
I am very. Hey, I was watching the newest Godma Zinger, and just at parts I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Hurry up with this!" I am very critical, Justin. I can tell you some mecha series I do not like.
Name 5.
Gundam Age.
Okay.
Okay, Gundam Age.
Mm-hmm.
G Reco. I mean, I don't absolutely hate it, but I don't think it's
that doesn't count. You don't absolutely hate it. Keep going.
Cross Age. I'm not a terrible fan of that. Captain Earth. Agrovelian. So that's 4 right there, Justin. And one more. You know what? I don't think I can do 5. But there, I did 4. Okay.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
I mean, and like I own them, and I watched. Oh, Broken Blade. I don't. There you go, Broken Blade. I wasn't a terrible fan of Broken Blade. I thought that was a little.
Wait. You have the Blu-rays.
Oh yeah. I have. They were dollars on the Sentai Summer Sale, like literal dollars. So actually, you know what? I take that back. Aldo Noah Zero, the second season, absolute dog shit. First season, great. So there's 6. Valve Brave season 2, there's 7.
Good on you. Good on you. I'm just saying you like an awful lot.
I mean, I like Japanese men in spandex, and I like giant robots. Like those are my 2 hobbies. So I don't know. It is what it is.
Look, it's fine to like things. I'm just, a caustic old shit. That's all.
That's true. I'm almost 30, so when I get 30, I think I'll start becoming an old asshole.
A friend of mine once told me that maturing is just figuring out that you hate almost everything.
I hate people. So, like, does that count?
I feel like that's just such low-hanging fruit.
I mean, I work in the food industry. I have to deal with.
Yeah, you have to work with the general public. If you liked people, there'd be something wrong with you.
I like my people, like my friends.
Sure.
I like you.
We all like the people we choose to be around.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, I mean, like when I watch something, like for instance, here's a good point. I'm very critical of certain series and certain franchises, but there are things like Mazinger. Not to say Mazinger is all campy and terrible, but a lot of it is. But there's a certain thing where I turn my brain off for certain series and just enjoy what's happening on screen. It's like
here's where you and I differ. I don't have a brain switch.
I do.
Like most people do. I wish I had
a Furious movie franchise, dude. I love it. It's garbage.
If someone made me sit through every Fast and Furious movie, I might self-harm.
You've never seen one?
No.
Justin, I wrote a paper in college on how it might be the greatest cinematic universe ever, and I got an A on it. So, and it's very well written. I have to say, I did a very good job. I was very.
Just because you made your point about your pop culture opinion doesn't.
Justin, me and you, we need to place a bet on something, and if something doesn't happen, like me winning would be you have to watch a Fast and the Furious movie.
Okay, I'll take that bet. I mean, I don't think I'll be bored. I just don't think I'll care.
Dude, The Rock flexes out of a cast in one of them. His arm's in a cast that's broken, and he goes, Daddy's got to go to work. And he flexes.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
look,
okay. I need to come up with something that you're going to hate then.
Pick any,
but I can't come up with anything because you like everything.
That's not true. That's not true at all. I don't like country music.
That's not okay. First of all, that's not a cinema thing. It's not.
I don't know. I don't like. I don't know. I do like a lot of shit. Damn.
I'm gonna make you watch a slow. Here we go. I'm gonna make you watch The Flavor of Green Tea Over Rice by Yasujiro Ozu.
Sounds fantastic. Is it put up by Criterion? I can barely see it because it's a little black.
The answer is yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, fuck yeah.
See, you like everything. Like I can't even upset you with a recommendation.
No, I mean I'm down to try anything once.
I mean it's great that you are. Being open-minded is a sign of a fit, intellectually curious brain.
I love trying to figure out why people like certain stuff. Like you like.
Yeah, I've given up on that. I've come to the conclusion that some people just have really shit taste.
I have like 50-50. 50% of my has to be Tokyo Drift. Mary, are you saying Tokyo Drift is a terrible movie? Because I think that is a fantastic movie. Little Bow Wow's in it.
not making your case real well here.
That's such a good movie. It's got the quarterback from Flip probably dislikes Samurai Jack. Absolutely not. I love why would you think of? I mean,
At this point, people are just trying to call out things that you might dislike.
I mean, I've watched almost every single Zatoichi film. Like I love almost mundane stuff because a lot of these are pretty fucking mundane and just a little drab. But
Okay. I think I got something that even you wouldn't be able to sit through.
okay.
So, when I was at Imagination TV years and years ago, we licensed these 3 Korean-produced 39-episode anime series
Okay.
from the mid-90s before Korea learned how to tell a story.
What's it called?
There were a few of them. The one that I saved is called Restall, and it's about a kid and his little brother with a tank that goes around the countryside saving things.
Okay.
And I don't think you could get through it, and I want to make that bet.
How long is it?
39 episodes.
All right. We need a bet on something.
Oh boy.
39 episodes. That's a lot. That's a lot longer than you watching one movie.
Okay. Well, you know what? Next episode.
Okay. How about this? I'll watch all 39 episodes. You have to watch 3 Fast
See,
and
here's
Furious.
the thing. You will sit through literally anything. So just the act of you sitting through something doesn't feel like an achievement.
I will put my phone away and everything. I will be locked in to the show. And I will tweet afterwards every episode. I'll be like, what the fuck, Justin, and why?
It's not like what the fuck or anything. It's just, brain candy. It's just you'll get numb after a while. Oh, actually, this is good. Glenn Obscusion just wrote, Flip should watch AWOL, Absent Without Leave, an anime so slowly paced that an entire episode is 150% pointless.
Is that true?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and, scroll up a little bit. Someone suggested, did you see Garzy's Wing? Okay, I think we have our winner.
Who said that? Who's?
Scroll up a little bit. Where is it? Garzy's. Here it is. Ian Whitcomb, 744.
Ian Whitcomb. 40,
I guess it would be 1044 your time.
944.
944. Sorry. Right.
Oh, there we go. Garzy's Wing. All right, I'm gonna look up Garzy's Wing.
It's Tomino. You'll love it.
Dude. Hey, I might. You never know.
Be sure to watch the English version.
Is that part of the thing?
Yes, absolutely part of the appeal.
Garzy's Wing. Okay, 1996. Oh, it's an hour and 30. That's not bad. I can do that.
Yeah, it's 3 OVAs.
I can do that. This looks nice. What's wrong with this?
Oh, you'll enjoy it a lot.
It's written by the amazing Tomino. All right. Okay. I'm gonna try to find either an old used copy for cheap or sail the 7 seas with that.
Yep. The English version is a treasure.
Garzy's Wing is comparable. Oh yes, the dub is a must. All right. The risk is with Garzy's Wing is that Flip might actually loving it because of how terrible it is. Watch it be my favorite anime of all time after I'm done watching it.
Nothing would make me happier. Nothing.
If I just become a hardcore Garzy's Wing fan.
I should mention that it is a spin-off of Dunbine.
Oh, I love Dunbine. Okay.
Okay, well there you go.
Is it like in the same universe?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
It's a modern day kid goes to Bystonwell story.
All right. Have I seen Dunbine? Yes, I've seen Dunbine. Ergo Proxy? I think Ergo Proxy is good. What's wrong with that?
Ergo Proxy good. It's just really slow.
Yeah, that is very slow. For some reason, in my mind growing up, I always thought Evanescence was somehow related to Ergo Proxy.
Because the girl looks exactly like the girl from Evanescence.
Yeah, I always thought it was like in the same. I was like, what is it? It's just like a
like she probably could have sued and won.
Really?
Like it's that close. If you seriously pull up pictures, it's side by side. It's uncanny.
Oh. Amy, what's her name? Amy something.
I don't remember. I wasn't a huge Evanescence guy.
You weren't. You didn't go through you seem more of a Nightwish fan.
Well, I don't actually even know who they are. You have to understand, I was emo in the 90s. By the time the 2000s came around, my frontal lobe was fully attached.
So you're not going to the My Chemical Romance reunion tour?
No, I am not.
Oh, damn it, Justin! I was going to see if you wanted to go. Me and you, we could go see the Used is apparently opening for him.
So my emo music was KMFDM.
That's emo? KMFDM?
Okay, yeah, that's not really emo. That's just industrial. But if you were goth, that's what you listened to in the 90s.
I was listening to that in junior high.
Or like Nine Inch Nails and shit.
Now, goth, did you go full goth? Like, did you buy
I never did the makeup. I never did my hair is already dark.
I used to paint my nails black, and I bought a pair of trip pants without my parents knowing, and I kept them in my school locker with these armbands with like spikes on them, and I would wear it to school.
I was already a big enough freak that I just didn't want to push it any further. It was just who I was. Did you
used to shuffle?
Shuffle.
Yeah, like when you're listening to like KMFDM, would you do like those goths dancing underneath the overpass?
No, of course. No. What I would do is I would blast it while in bed trying to disappear because life was terrible.
I don't think KMFDM.
Blast it no, I would alternate between KMFDM and Enya, and that would be my upper and my downer.
Those are wow.
Yeah,
that's like oil and water. Damn.
Which is which?
I would think the water is Enya. It's very serene.
Yeah.
KMFDM is definitely the oil. Just like, man, I used to listen to KMFDM all the time. My parents were like, they thought it because our employees told them it stood for Kill Motherfucking Depeche Mode.
Right.
So
which
listen
that is the thing that won't die with them, and it was never true. It stands for something in German, which is no rest for the masses or something like that.
What is up with, because like, not that like we're in the same generation, but like I feel like the same rumors. Like, did you guys have that rumor when you were growing up about Marilyn Manson and his rib?
Oh yeah, that I was in high school when that was a thing.
Yeah,
like that's clearly what
that was in high school when I was like. I mean, that was the thing when I was in high school. It's just weird how these rumors.
People still talking about that like 10 years later.
Yeah. People still talk about that. Like we have this young kid that works, and we were talking about Marilyn Manson for some reason, or he came on the radio or something, and I was like, "Oh, I love Marilyn Manson." He's like, "Isn't that the guy that can suck his own dick?" And I'm like, "That's still going on? Like that's still a rumor?"
I mean, first of all, if you're flexible enough, you don't need to remove a rib. Second, I've seen the videos. Secondly, that of course
You've
not.
Seen the videos? I had to, that went right over my head. I was like, whoa.
But secondly, why would someone who's making that much money touring take 6 months out of their schedule to recover from unnecessary surgery so he could suck his own dick when he could just open the stage door and there'd be a million people there to suck his dick?
I don't know, dude. I don't trust no thoughties. I would just do it myself,
I don't know where to go with that.
I always try to say things to just make you just react. I try to talk like a Zoomer sometimes to try to get you to have a reaction, and sometimes it's a very visceral reaction, and sometimes you just blink 2 times and then you just don't know what to do.
Well, I'm happy someone out there can still shock and horrify me because it's usually me that's doing the shocking and horrifying, and so it's nice change of pace.
I have no filter and no limit to where
I've noticed. Apparently, and no floor to your taste either.
Hey. Actually, you know what I can't stand? Cannot stand for the life of me makeup YouTubers. My wife loves them. Cannot stand that shit. My wife makes me watch it. And then the Real Housewives.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that one.
I can't stand that. Anything on Bravo, I'm just like, no.
I don't care for. Okay, so I would say I don't care for reality TV, but I have to admit I have watched more. I've watched more Gordon Ramsay shows than is probably healthy. I just like middle-aged people yelling at the stupid.
My favorite, and I do this at work all the time. I'll walk up to my mom with 2 buns, and I'll go, "What are you?" And
hey, I am not boomer. I'm not even 40 yet.
No, me and Justin are technically both millennials. Woo!
I'm borderline millennial Gen X, like 1980. That's depending on whose definition. It shifts all over the place, but I'm that weird thing. I'm that weird generation that still has floppy disks.
I had floppy disks.
5 1/4 inch?
Yeah, I had floppy disks for junior high, and then like into high school.
Oh, was that just because your school was really behind the times?
I don't know.
Because that would have been the 90s, right? No, that would have been the late 90s, right?
I graduated in 2010.
Oh my god.
Hey, my wife graduated in 2015. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I mean, you probably don't even remember a world without broadband, do you?
No. We had dial-up.
Okay.
We had VHS players. We used to have a TV with the VHS built in, and then we upgraded the TV with the VHS and the DVD built in. Yeah, I'm like right at that cusp where like I remember the old tech. I remember the old shit, and I had to use it actively.
Have you ever had to use a rotary phone?
Yes, I have had to use a rotary phone.
Wow.
We used to have one at the restaurant, actually, because if the power goes out, rotary phone landline works. So
I'm impressed. That's actually...
I was right there, man. I was right there. My school, it's so weird. Our school was like one of the top, and now it's really high tech. Like the shit these kids are like, they all have laptops and stuff. But
I was going to say, if that was late 90s and you were using floppy disks, that is kind of sad.
all of the PCs at the library had floppy disks. We'd have to go buy.
We're talking the 3-inch ones, not the 5 1/4 inch ones.
The 5 1/4 ones I used in junior high, and then we
upgraded. We're talking around the year 2000. You were using 5 1/4 inch floppies.
No, I was in 4th grade when the Twin Towers fell. So I don't know why I use that as a metric, but I use I always use that as a metric to like figure out.
I was working at Central Park Media then.
I was in 4th grade, and yeah. So just remember the days before I didn't get internet in my house until I was 16 years old. So yes.
So basically what we're really saying is Flip is not that old, but he is from a backwater.
Central Illinois, man. It's like the deep south at some points. It's a shithole. Hey, I remember AOL. Okay, I remember all this. I met a friend. We went camping one time. The one time I went camping. Camping sucks. It's awful. I don't know why people do it.
I never wanted to camp.
It's fucking awful. But I met a guy at the camp spot, and we switched AOL Instant Messenger IDs.
Ooh.
Justin, you remember LimeWire? You remember setting your own skin on LimeWire? You remember that?
I do. And I had to use LimeWire instead of Kazaa because I was a Mac guy.
See? Well, yeah. See? So we are... See? Wow. Otaku Unboxings was 2.5 when 9/11 happened.
Well, oh my God. All right. Well, here's...
My wife was born in 97.
Here's the difference, though. We were using LimeWire at work.
Wow.
Not in any official capacity, more or less because when you work on hentai for a living, all of the world of porn just becomes a giant joke, and so we had Porn Club.
Do you ever remember going to Napster and trying to find a song, and it's like 1 megabyte, and you're like, wow, that's gonna be a quick download, and then it's just porn, like it's like just like a picture, and you're like, oh, that's not what I wanted. I didn't want.
I feel like I did a pretty good job of. Okay, so here's something you probably don't remember. Do you remember having to go on AOL, the newsgroup section, and copy paste blocks of gibberish text into a text editor and then decode them with an app to get a porn JPEG?
No, but I do remember my mom caught me looking at a porn image, and it was downloading really slowly, and it got to like the nipple, and she was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, it's not even finished. What? And I got in huge trouble, and that's when my parents took the internet out of the house when I was able to go home by myself, and didn't get to.
See, I was smart. I waited till everyone was away, and then I had a hidden folder inside the Mac OS system folder that was named something like system purge or something nerdy that no one would ever go into if you could even find it. And then in there it was encrypted. That is how you hide your porn stash in the 1997.
I was in 97. I was 5, and I was not looking at porn in 97. So I was, I don't know, like 11, maybe 12. I don't know how old you are when boys start looking at porn. So, but I didn't know. I was just like, I was a little kid. At that point, my parents still knew more than me. But now they don't. My mom doesn't even know how to turn off her iPad. So
I was always the tech support in the house.
Yeah, it's starting to get annoying. My parents live right down the road, so they'll call me and be like, "Hey, internet's out," and I'm like, "Unplug it," and they're like, "I don't know how." I'm like, "I'm gonna pull Menendez Brothers on you too." So
this is why I live in a different state from my parents. I got my dad a Ring doorbell for Christmas, and
my mom wants one. My mom wants one.
You should have heard the dramatic phone calls from my mother. It was bad. She was all these like super angry texts like he doesn't know what he's doing. He can't get. I told you not to get him tech gifts. Just like, and of course I just ignore her. And a week goes by, and she's like, "Oh, I really like this doorbell."
Dude, my dad only uses his phone for Spotify, and sometimes the internet just goes out, or we have bad service at the restaurant, and he just cannot understand why it just won't work. He's like, fix it. I'm like, Dad, the internet's out. Whoa, I pay for it. What's wrong with this? I'm like, Dad, you need to relax. To answer your question, I do remember the console 90 wars because my uncle, my youngest uncle is about, I want to say he's like a year or two older than Justin. So
you were not alive for the console wars? You might have heard about it in retrospect.
I heard about it from him. I remember him being like, "Oh, Sega's the best," and then whoever else, like my cousins, would be like, "Nintendo's the best." And
now, were they talking about NES or Super NES?
They're talking about Super NES and Genesis, right?
Okay, because the original console war was NES versus Genesis.
Hey, my first console was a Nintendo. My parents didn't have a lot of money at the first half of my life, so I had a Nintendo, and then eventually a Super Nintendo until the PS2, which was my dad's, and then I didn't get a console till the 360.
I'm going to really date myself. My first console was a Mattel Intellivision.
Holy shit, dude! That's my mom's favorite.
It's still a classic. I think my sister still has it, but it probably needs to be modded to be able to be used with a regular TV these days.
Yeah, you probably have to. There's a company called Analog that's been doing. They did Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and then now they're doing Sega, and then now they're doing a bunch of older consoles as well. So, and television is better than Atari, says Mark.
It is. Atari is garbage. Like, I can still play in television games. I can't play any Atari games. Those are just so ratty.
For me, I think PS2. I'm a huge JRPG fan, so I think PS2 is probably the king for that.
PS2 or Super Nintendo.
But I do remember my grandmother getting us a GameCube for Christmas one year. Like, bought all 3 cousins. It was like at Sam's Club. That was like Smash Brothers and the GameCube in a pack. And opening it up and just being like, yo, like just freaking out about GameCube. I love the GameCube.
I wish I could talk about some of the stuff I'm working on right now.
We could talk off air.
Yeah, I'll tell you off air. But so I spent an embarrassing amount of time this week rendering the credit roll for City Hunter Shinjuku Private Eyes, the new City Hunter movie.
Yeah.
We announced that a long time ago, and we dubbed it, and we premiered the dub at Otakon. I'm finally making the Blu-ray now. And I decided, because there was this nice Japanese credit roll where the credits were off to the side, and there was some new animation that was really nifty, so I decided to recreate it. Not that I'll replace the Japanese one, but I'll have it after, so you could just hit chapter skip and have the same experience in English. And I've re-rendered this thing 7 or 8 times now because I keep finding typos and it keeps driving me crazy.
Well, hey, it's better to have a perfect disc than a couple typos.
I have other discs to make.
I was watching Iron Blood Orphans a couple weeks ago, and I noticed 3 typos in the last couple episodes of the second season. Like pretty bad typos, and I was like, Whoa, what's going on with that?
I'll tell you what's happening. Somebody doesn't have a mark.
Yo, what's up, Mark? Which usually that's a bad term.
Mark with a C. Does not have a mark with a C. Yes.
Mark with a C.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of City Hunter, the box set one shipped. So shout out to Discotech for getting that out extremely early, like a whole month. So that's already shipping. Too bad Govarian didn't ship early. Just saying, just waiting on that one. But
hey, I watched that roll off the line when we toured the plant.
Is that hand animated thing still in there?
Oh yeah, we didn't cut anything.
I'm so excited.
That's an Easter egg.
Is that really? I'm so excited.
Well, I mean, if you watch the show carefully, sure.
It's so fast. It happens so fast, but
yeah, it's 2 frames.
Oh man, I'm gonna be looking for it. I'm gonna pause it. I'm so pumped. Do you want to go and wrap it up?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll be back next week. I do want to say before we go, since there's 30-ish people watching, Right Stuff has sponsored me. So if you guys use code FLIPOTAKU at checkout, you'll save 10% off your order. They're celebrating me hitting 3K subscribers on YouTube. So
nice, congrats.
Thank you. So if you guys want to go buy something and you want to save a little bit extra money, flip a taco at checkout. And yeah, that's all I gotta plug. Justin,
I got nothing.
Nothing. We'll be back.
There's some big stuff coming, but I'm not. It's off my radar right now.
And yeah, we'll be back next week, and we'll see you guys soon.
All right, take care, guys.
See you guys.